Is there anything finer than coming out in the morning, enjoying a cappuccino, and admiring this French beauty in your garage? I've made some bad buys on Bring a Trailer, notably that Land Cruiser, but this one, I got my money's worth on this car. This is in beautiful condition. Everything is here. I'm gonna close this video, and then I think I'm gonna do another video later, which is I'm gonna try and get it running well enough to take it for a drive and get some fresh fuel in it. But this is changing the way I think about France in general. Oh my God, look at how these seats, these are the most comfortable seats I've ever sat on in the most comfortable riding car ever made. The unique steering wheel, obviously. This crazy switchgear. This little clock. Of course it doesn't work. We got here for lights of some sort. Or is that a choke? What is that? I need to get a manual and just figure out how to operate this thing. This is the least counterintuitive car, the least intuitive car I've ever seen. This is the button you press to start. The shift pattern right here on the tree it's just like a 5-speed, but turned 90 degrees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, reverse over here. So that kind of makes some sense. There's neutral. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh God, to say I'm horny for this car is like an understatement. Absolute understatement. Some sort of original radio still present. Unfortunately, somebody's put this later generation aftermarket piece in there. What do we have in here? Oh. Another California car. Some registration still in here. Some papers and some documents. I'll have to pick through all that. Some cable ties, unsurprising. The problem is, it's a little bit low on that fluid. I think it's going to be okay to run it a little bit. I've already ordered some of this. Basically, it's like a mineral brake fluid. It needs to be a non-hygroscopic brake fluid that you put in this thing for seal compatibility. And there is some talk on the interwebs that a AGCO agricultural fluid can be used as a substitute and has the correct material compatibilities. Look at how low it sits because it sinks down, and when you turn it on, obviously it raises up several inches. Beautiful headlights. This car was like everything I own, just like that car over there. These were cars that were made by people who were really trying hard, who cared about the work they did and viewed their design as a projection of the greatness of their humanity onto the world. These were not cars that were designed by accountants to maximize margin and last exactly as long as possible so that we can then get, the perpetually middle-class buyer into another lease, These are cars where people ask the question of themselves, how great can I do this? And I adore it. Like this car, I don't love, I'm not like big on like fast power. I love a car that basically has a strong imprint of the design team that created it, right? A car that has something fascinating about it. And I think that these cars are probably, you know, universally agreed as some of the greatest cars ever made. This car, if you juxtapose this car and this car, right? The agricultural simplicity and timelessness of this one, the elegance, the mechanical symphony of this car, right? Both of them are extremes, asymptotic extremes, right? Whereas this car is timeless. The rear suspension on this car is what this car has both front and rear. This car rides very, very, very well. This car will transcend. Look, it has a cool hitch. There's these jump seats in the back. All right, I'm gonna go on and on and on. I'm gonna put this video out, and then later we're gonna try and make an initial drive. Interestingly, I had this moment yesterday where I've been working on this design, an agricultural design, for several months actually. And I got to this moment where actually you're pretty far along, where you've kind of found something that sort of feels right, and you're about to prototype it, which is very expensive, very time consuming. And I'm like pushing things around, pushing dimensions around in this geometry to maximize the range of motion of the device. And I just had this moment where I had to stop and say, I'm gonna try something completely orthogonally different to this. I'm gonna try to make something radically different. Let's just break ourselves mentally out of this kind of linear progressive thinking of like, well, these designs have existed one way, so we'll just kind of, produce progress, but in a linear way, but where there's clear descendants and a clear sort of DNA being passed from one design iteration to the other. And if you stop and really ask yourself the question, what am I doing? How do I accomplish that? I think I can come at it in a totally different way that produces completely different results. So I'm going to go into the office and I'm going to try and model that as quickly as I could. I was awake at 4 a.m, and in my mind, I don't need SolidWorks. I can just sort of visualize it in my mind, and that's what's critical to design. That's why cars like this, the engineers at Mercedes-Benz and Citroen didn't need three-dimensional CAD, and they didn't need these complex visualization tools to create these. Hey viewers, creeping up to that magic 500 monetization level. So thank you all who subscribe. Really appreciate it. I guess we first should determine if we've got some oil in it just to play it safe. Obviously this car kind of defies convention in every way, but the dipstick is kind of down inside of here. Kind of tough to get a measurement on. Let's see if we can get. Let's see here. I did find, so beautiful, that the car actually has we are nominal on the oil. Could probably, a little bit low, we could probably add a little here. Let's do that. Okay, let's figure out how to add a little bit of oil. Like the Saab, they are giving you this incredible, oh, I'm gonna need a funnel. Am I gonna need a, yes. No, I don't even need a funnel. They're giving you this incredibly simple way to put oil in this. Just put a little dab in. They have this raised cast boss coming off the engine where you fill it. Beautifully simple, beautiful. How many times am I gonna say beautiful today? I don't know. Unless this thing fails to run again for me, then I'm gonna be furious. In terms of the LHM green stuff, the hydraulic fluid level, notice that because the car is now collapsed down on its suspension from sitting, the level has risen inside of there a little bit. I'm not sure if you can see that. Let's get a light. So you can see the level of the fluid in the hydraulic reservoir is about up to here, which must be about a good level. Now let's once again attempt to start the car. Maybe we'll have better luck today. Let's see what happens when the fuel pump's engaged. Look at the wide sill, because this roof structure, you know, is completely a separate part of the body from the rest of it, and it's not even structurally connected. All of the structure runs down here. Okay. Let's see here. Will you start and run for me today? I think we're in neutral. Good. Turn my key on. Yeah, she really doesn't want to run. Let's think about that. First of all, one would presume that the fuel pumps are running right now. I dare say this is a choke right here. Oh, I can feel us raising up. Whoa, we're going up high. That's unfreaking believable. That's so incomprehensibly awesome. I don't even know what to say. Okay, so this is the choke right here. Let's keep her nice and choked. She seems to like that. She likes to be choked. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yep. She wants to be choked for a bit. Wait a minute, are we... What is going on here? Do we have some sort of check valve problem going on here in the hydraulic circuit? I'm already enjoying diagnosing the hydraulics because I think that something is going on here. Because you think once the system hits pressure, it gets up to the desired ride height, there should be like a check system that basically blocks flow and keeps it, you wouldn't think that the pump on the motor needs to, will it idle? Is it idling? Oh my God, it's idling. Hold on, let's back this thing out before I asphyxiate myself. All right, my friends, let's go for a drive. Holy crap, the clutch action is sensitive. Very, very, very touchy clutch. This will not be one to teach the girlfriend in. Not be one at all to teach the girlfriend in. One of the other things I was very excited about with this particular car with the hydraulic suspension is the fact that I can raise and lower it. I have an extremely steep driveway. And it's very nice to be able to get it up really high. I think that's first gear. Oh, we're in first gear. Oh my God, we're driving. And the brakes are touchy. You know what? We're gonna put on a seatbelt because one thing that is definitely gonna be the case with this car is that we are standing out. Oh my God, the seatbelt, I have to show you this. The seatbelt does not have, the armrest is just something that comes out sandwiched between here. The seatbelt is like look at this. It's like an airplane seatbelt. It doesn't have any spring action adjustment. Absolute insanity. Absolute insanity. How much fuel does it say we have? It doesn't say we have a ton of fuel. Let's go try and put some, non-ethanol fuel in this. There have been an infinite number of superlatives said about the Citroen DS over the years, but every single one of them is true. Oh, that would be fifth. Here's third. Oh, we need to get back down into our lower ride height. I still have it in the raised ride height. The position of the mirror is remarkable. Oh. But it all works. Taking my foot off the clutch, we will go down here and we will move this back down to there, which I believe is the standard height setting. So this lever right here adjusts the height of the hydraulic suspension. So even after driving the car now for about 5 minutes, it still doesn't want me to completely get off the choke. So obviously, I don't know, I feel like that's telling me that we've got a little bit of a mixture problem going on. It's completely detached from, the feeling is really remarkable because you just float along the road. You don't have a real feeling that you're attached to the road. But it's sublimely comfortable, absolutely undescribable. I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is the least powerful car that I own, but it's magical. It's like riding on a cloud. It's the most comfortable thing I've ever seen, and I've been in many, many, many luxury automobiles. Let's go over a railroad crossing quick. Oh, you literally don't feel it. We're gonna put fuel in this for the very first time. Of course, non-ethanol. You would be absolutely mad to put ethanol in this. Now, I have a feeling that this is not going to turn itself off. So we're gonna be a little bit careful here as we fuel this. Also, I've decided that the battery is bad and it doesn't want to restart, so I am leaving this on, but I gotta get some fuel into it. Yeah, you would be crazy to put ethanol into this thing, just like you would be crazy to put hydraulic fluid that was not the green stuff, the LHM. It turn itself off at 12 gallons, so it wouldn't overflow itself, which is nice to know. Let's not forget this on the very first day. See how the fenders are not structural, right? They're just kind of like detached. It's like a unibody monocoque, but then the decorative outer panels are simply just added onto it. Under positives, the fuel gauge works. We just idled it for a good 5 or 6 minutes and the temperature gauge has not creeped up at all. There's a major problem with the mixture because it will not run with the choke all the way off. You know what, let's try and turn on this radio. Does this work? How would one run this? Has this been completely obsoleted by this monstrosity? I've determined that the parking brake works. Go down there. All right, let's get it up to highway speed for the first time. Full send, there's 4,000 RPM. Third gear. There's 50 miles an hour. There's fourth gear. Strong smell of gasoline. Whistling sound from the windows. Get the fifth gear. There's fifth gear. So we're cruising at 60 at about 2,800 RPM. I love that. Love it. Well, I have discovered one thing, not sure if it's related, but this clip, on the distributor cap is not really tight. And that's definitely not helping the situation. So let's see if we can do something about that. Then maybe I'm going to take this battery that I took out of the Cruiser and stick that in here. Not only that, but I'm not completely sure that all of the spark plug wires were actually plugged into that distributor cap. I don't know about you, but I think there should be some coolant in the overflow, not none. All right, so we put about a half gallon, maybe a little bit more than a half gallon into here. Let's see what happens. It's obviously very warm right now, so who knows? Okay. Wow, that's crazy. Just the size of this hose that goes up to this reservoir. Such a large hose to go to such a small volume. It's really interesting. Okay. Look at how they have these two little storage tanks for the LHM fluid built in. This one's leaking, unfortunately. And then another one right here too, so you can carry some fluids along with you. I think that's precious. In fact, let's even top ourselves off a little bit while I'm waiting for some of this fluid to arrive in the post. Put a little bit in here. I think she's just, wait a minute, hold on. Yes. This is a very thin, time out. Yes. It's green, so you do want to, and it has the consistency of antifreeze, so Just go ahead and convince yourself that it's not antifreeze, I guess, which I've done by smelling it. I've ordered some of the actual Total Industry LHM fluid, which is surprisingly hard to acquire in the United States at this moment in our economic history. In fact, oh, there's a little sight gauge right here on the side of it. I didn't even notice that before. Yeah, you have a little sight gauge right here. Cool. That's very handy. Definitely don't want to be low on that fluid, okay? Now let's get this battery out of here. You know, people talk about weird cars, right? Oh, like look at my collection. My collection is quote unquote weird cars. I don't really believe there are any weird cars. I mean, this car has unique systems. The hydraulic suspension is truly unique, but in general, all cars are the same and have essentially the same things to them. And if you just step back, you know, take an overview, slow down, identify what you're looking at. Okay, here's this, here's this, here's this. You know, you can reduce your intimidation level when you're attacking something like this new. It's really a simple car when it comes right down to it. You know what's not simple? A 2021 Audi R8. You know, what do we have here? Crane cams. Oh, this has been converted to electronic ignition. Got it. Okay. Got it. Okay, so look right here. We've got a crane cams module right here. What are we connecting this to? Here, we're going over to the distributor, right? And good. So we don't have any points. I was wondering about that. Let's get this battery out of here. There's wires. There's a few weird wires here and there, but all in all, this looks like the wiring is pretty much in an original condition. Dated May of 2020. I think that this may also have something to do with our woes. And, oh, it's a little bit bigger. It's a little bit bigger than the one that I took off the Cruiser, but, you know, not too much. Not too much. I think it'll go, because it's, you know. All right, so we have that new battery in. Topped it off with some coolant. Got the distributor cap actually plugged on, clipped on firmly. And let's just give it a run and see how it starts now. Who knows? Maybe there'll be a difference. You never know. I think it was running on 3 cylinders before. Now that's pretty smooth right there. I still have the choke on just a little bit. That's a 1500 idle, too high. Too high. God, is this a timing problem? I wonder if we're excessively advanced. Okay, it still will not run completely off choke. This is making me wonder, is there some sort of idle air control valve going on here? I do think at the end of the day, the timing can't be that far off because it's running relatively smooth where it's at right now. The fact that, and that's at around 2000 RPM, the fact that it runs on about a quarter choke, but will not run unchoked, I think to me does say, hey, fundamentally we've got a mixture problem going on here. I don't feel like dealing with that mixture problem today. I think we've done enough. So yeah, let's take it on another test drive. All right, now what I want to do is turn on the heat and see if I can get the cooling system bled any better. That's not bad. All right. So what do we do here? Turn that over to that. Can I see the heating? No, that just opens and closes that. How would one turn the heat on? Oh my God, are you kidding me? This is the temperature control? Cool. And then this like opens and closes this thing? No way. Hot. What is this doing? I need a manual. This is the first car ever that I'm like, I need a manual. It's crazy. Wait, we got more levers in here. What the? This is my vents. This is controlling whether the air is coming out of the floor or there, up here, or down here somewhere. Okay. This is so fragile. This one's broken over here. I'm gonna have to fix that. This one over here works. You can control both the vertical direction and you can turn it on and off with these and control the flow. Turn that off. This one over here is broken. God damn it. I'm gonna have to fix that. That's gonna drive me crazy that that's broken right there. This is the heater. It is warm on both sides, so the heater valve is working. See it? Here's a little mini heater core. So easy to service. Here's the blower. This must be the vent for the cabin right here. Notice the inboard brakes. Those are pulsing on me. They're a little bit wobbly. I don't really love it. We've got a leaking valve cover gasket. Oh, that's leaking pretty bad actually. I'm gonna have to do that. You notice there's a hydraulic bleed nipple on the throttle body, and just out of curiosity, I am gonna open it up and bleed it. Because what the hell? Does anything come out? Nothing comes out. That's odd. Gosh darn it, I'm gonna have to read a manual. Okay, we have another issue here. Have the headlight out. All right. Do it again. Okay, good. Wind noise is always such a problem in these cars because of the very unique door design with the lack of the frame on the upper side of the door. I'm not either a Democrat or a Republican. I'm a centrist. I don't really believe in having a strict, defined ideology. I think you can just kind of...
But you did vote for Kamala, so...
Yeah. I mean, I don't really believe in having a strict set of beliefs. Like, you know what? Once you say, I only believe this one thing and I'm not able to change, then you're really limiting yourself. Well, it's the next day. Need to get up to Milwaukee to work on the green Saab restoration, but I'm thinking about what to drive. I need to move some things around. I think I'm gonna drive this BMW because I'm gonna put it into storage and start thinking about selling it, but fall's not a great time to sell a car. Just had a conversation with my girlfriend that sounded like she was working towards a me or the cars type conversation. Obviously, for any car enthusiast, this is a tough conversation to manage. It's like, I don't know. You think Picasso's girlfriend, who there were many, was like me or the paint? You know, no. Picasso gets to paint, but when Joe has an obsession with the automobile and the art of the automobile, that's somehow viewed as frivolous. You know, you drive this Citroen up there, take it on a long road trip, but they're talking about rain, and I don't really want to get it rained on. But I am going to try and make it run less rich. We're going to do a little something here. I also need the car to not be running as rich and not smell so bad. So this like crankcase breather tube right here that's just venting out into the engine compartment, I'm gonna go ahead, here's the air that is being fed in that you're breathing. Like it's just pretty close there. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug that and deal with the consequences. God, actually first, I forgot that I left all my screwdrivers and stuff in the back of this because I was going to do something about this like really annoying. This antenna has been loose on here forever, and I started taking it apart, but then got obviously sidetracked. So I'm gonna just see if I can come to some sort of conclusion on this. If you look, we've got a weird little arrangement right there. If I twist this, I see it's so loose. I'm like, what's going to support it if I loosen this like thing on here? And I think that cable right there should hold it. The old John Deere's about a new direction I'm going to go on a design, and I think it's the right direction. I think that stopping and thinking is key. And also understanding other people's needs. Oh, understanding what your customer needs. Look at this little piece that around the base of the antenna says Saab on it. Cool. Like Saab got a custom antenna. Custom antenna. Okay. Let's see what this is like right here. Oh boy. And let's see what the interwebs sold me as a spare part, which doesn't look very much like that, does it? No, has nothing to do with it. Let's see if I can get this thing out of here. This has been frozen in here for many moons. Okay. Whoa. There we go. Oh man, that's not gonna bring in any coast to coast AM. That's not gonna, I can't listen to George Norrie or Art Bell with this. This is kind of funny. Made by All Gone in Sweden. These parts are all gone. This antenna might be a situation that Mateus in Poland could do something about. Hopefully Mateus in Poland ships me the stuff he's been needing to ship me for months now, but it's a journey, not a destination, for sure. All right, well, at least it's tight. That's what she said. I'm not really sure why, when I came out here with the intention of fixing the fuel ratio on that Citroen, that I am now fixing all the light bulbs in the trunk of this Saab, but nonetheless, that's what I'm doing. That is the worst condition bulb I've ever seen. Somebody must have had this installed incorrectly and disabled the switch on the little thing, which is why there was no bulb in it, because they must have given up. And because it was making something go dead, but they just had it, they had disabled the switch because Saab must have one standard, you know, plastic piece that they have connections for both always on or intermittent with this. God, I am doing everything but what I should be doing today. That's just life. Okay, wow. Nice, okay. That is odd. Oh God, look at this. Here's my alternator. I don't think that's supposed to be like that. Ah, damn it. Okay. Boy, this American-made right grip flex head ratchet has become my go-to 3/8 ratchet, that's for sure. You know, I did some work on this alternator like a long time ago when I was first getting back into cars. I replaced the bushings at that time. I've put at least 30,000 miles on this car since then, and something ain't right in here. All right, you win, Saab. You fucking win. I'm going to take off the fucking coolant hoses. God, it's like Saab alternators are always fucked because nobody wants to get at them. The reason why Saab power steering is always fucked is because when you drip coolant from the heater, it goes right down onto the seal for the steering rack, the seal that I think always fails. Oh God, guys, I'm in big trouble. So I was just screwing around with this alternator and I accidentally arced it. I didn't have the battery disconnected because I thought, I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna fuck around with it and not do it. And I arced it against this brake line, and now it like blasted a hole in the brake line with the when I arced it. And so now I've taken my actually quote unquote reliable car and I've disabled it. But oh God, man, that's a problem. Whereas I'm waiting on the fuel pump stuff for this, I could rig this up to run because I need to get to Milwaukee or she's gonna kill me. So I think I can rig this up to run with the electric fuel pump. Or I move stuff around and I drive the BMW, which was like my original plan. I am in deep doo-doo. Alright, I better get some of this brake line stuff. Wait, do I have the brake line shit? Could I just fix it right now? Hey, something kind of unfortunate happened.
What unfortunate happened? Okay, so what are you calling to tell me exactly?
I guess I'm just like letting you know what the situation is. I'm just saying I can't drive this car. I have to drive a different car.
But you can't get any of your other cars, so why don't you just stay in Sycamore and figure out the Saab stuff, and then I will see you when I see you.
No, all my other cars run.
That's pretty much like what you're calling to say, which is fine, but just say
That's
it.
not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I need to move some things around, and I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna drive this BMW. Or I'm gonna try and fix this white Saab in the next couple hours.
Okay, don't forget about your doctor's appointment.
I know.
It doesn't matter to me. Do what you want.
It does matter, okay?
1, 2, 3, 4.
It does matter. I'm just going through a rough spot with my cars right now.
Seriously, I just don't want to hear about your cars. Okay? You have too many of them, and half of them don't work. And that's a problem in itself. You do not need to hear the car excuse every single time.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay.
All right, well, I have completely gotten myself into a jam here. So the first thing we're gonna do, actually, I gotta get myself some space. So we're gonna take off this fucking AC compressor. Okay, I want to just take for a moment and explain to you what's going on, why I'm so completely screwed right now, because here's my conundrum. There is a bolt which is holding on this bracket, the air conditioning bracket, okay, which is behind the alternator. The vibration of the alternator has caused this bolt to unscrew itself. And it's trapped between the alternator and the bracket. The problem is it's trapped in such a way that it's preventing me from being able to loosen the alternator to the point where I can get the belts off. If I got the belts off, then I would have the clearance in order to get everything else off. So I have one of two options. I'm taking off the entire AC bracket, okay, which is the bolt which is trapping it is the bottom one holding this AC bracket on. And of course it's Saab, so you have no space over here to work with. And so what I'm basically going to try and do is remove the entire bracket holding on the alternator, because this top bolt which has come loose is in fact the top bolt holding on the alternator bracket. But it's these Torx fasteners that are way down in here. And I'm going to get out the grip edge bits, and we're going to try and actually take off the entire bracket. But all right, here's bolt number one. Okay, let's see. Are you going to come off? Because the other thing I'm trying to do is I'm trying to avoid draining every freaking bit of coolant out of this thing. Okay. Yeah, we're going straight up. Straight up, now tell me, do you really want to love me forever? No, no, no. All right, I've decided to go all in, and I'm simply going to, I'm going to cut the belts, which I hate to do, but I'm trapped. And if I look at the total cost of time, value, and my entire life situation right now, I do not have a better option. So I am simply going to cut them, and you know what? Probably not a bad time to replace them anyways. So we are officially, man, do you see that thing come off? Yeah, there's my bolt. My God. This thing had loosened itself, preventing me from being able to retract the alternator. I'm tired of having this throttle cable in the way, so I'm just going to remove it. Now, at least I can get this out of the way right here. God, I've been ordering a lot of AVX 10x975 belts from fucking Continental lately. Here I am about to order some more, but c'est la vie. So the bolt that holds on the alternator, right? You don't have enough room to get it out this way, and you don't have enough room to get it out that way. So really the only way to get it out is in fact to remove the entire bracket. Or you can take off this, you can take off the whole assembly that holds the oil filter, which sucks too. So now after all that, I've finally liberated the alternator. You look at this, it's like, all right, where is the problem at? You need to know. It's like, that's just too loose. That is not good. All right. I think I have time to do some investigation because I'm gonna go work on the green car in Milwaukee for a few days so I can I've maybe got a couple days to get parts. I am blocking everything in here, which is a problem. May have to get some help to push some things around. You know what? I don't know what's normal. There's another, that's not a replaceable piece, but the fit of this bolt, the bolt itself is pretty worn. And then you look at this alternator, it's like, that's just like too much. Okay, so actually the bushings aren't the problem. I'm gonna need a new alternator. Because at one point I did replace the bushings, and I'm gonna replace them again, of course, but again, I think that I've destroyed the bushings with the alternator. We're gonna go and just get a completely new alternator. We're gonna put a new bolt, and we're gonna put new bush. All right, I have an hour and 15 minutes before the penis doctor appointment. So, God, what am I gonna do? I think I'm gonna ride a bicycle down to the parts store and get some stuff quick, and I'm going to get that fixed. Okay, guess I might as well get these. Isn't it something that I started off just literally screwing with this antenna and these lights, and now I've basically made this thing undrivable, yanked out an alternator, cut 2 belts. Yeah, this is me right now. I am very good at self-inflicting a wound. Okay, that's all right. I know what size we need for the fuel lines. Oh, it's that time of year. Time for our great fall festival, the Pumpkin Festival. Rejoice. Some more hose, yeah. No, all right, let's very quickly just get this tied back together back here, at least so I can close it up. And when I fix the other stuff, it'll be ready to go again. For the record, I have 1 hour before I need to be at the doctor's office. So we have a lot of things to do because I'm not even driving this car. Obviously, what you've seen. Put all my tools put away, and I am ready to close this up. This is not going to get used for a while. Depending on what happens with old parts geek, maybe. And now what we need to do is we need to quickly get this electric fuel pump prepared to run. All right. Let's get this thing prepared to run. Here's a bracket. Maybe, you know what? I might just leave even when I get the mechanical pump delivered, which could be as early as today, so who knows? But I think I'm just gonna leave the electric fuel pump. I should just leave it installed in this car as a backup, you know? It's just like, holy smokes. All right, now we're gonna rig up the longest fuel hose ever because I don't want to cut it, because I know that the future fix that I'm going to end up doing here, I'm going to end up routing the hose in a very similar way. So I don't want to have to buy more hose. Let's just get this on here. Oh my God. I have done this. Hold her. Okay. All right. Another very expensive battery. All right, that should be good enough. Right there. Okay, I have 1 hour to get to the penis doctor, so I think we're good. Anybody can. If I can't get this gosh darn cruiser running in an hour to get to the penis doctor, I need to turn in my card, boys. Turn in my man card. There we go. Safety first. Now I need to make some wires just so I have an easy way to turn this electric fuel pump on and off should I need to actually turn off the vehicle without using a tool. We've been down this road before. The smart people will say that a crimp is actually better than solder, and which is true in applications where there's actually professionally done crimp joints, of which these DIY automotive kits are not. So there we go. Splatter it off. Ink, it's a China heat shrink time. Everybody's favorite time. How about those Brewers? Your Milwaukee Brewers. Gosh darn it, if they don't go to the World Series, we're gonna stop watching them until next year. It's a beautiful symmetry to breathing a bunch of solder fumes right before you go to get your sperm count tested. Loving it. Your Milwaukee Brewers. All right. Now all we have to do is connect up this professional goodness. Gosh darn it, if it doesn't use a 12 millimeters. I gotta say, it might be a struggle. We might be in a little bit of a struggle, boys, because I've got automobiles on the mind. Automobiles. Not the fairer sex, but that's all right. We'll do double duty. Oh my word. Okay, come on, baby. Come on. So now, ooh yeah, fuel to the carbs. Boom, undone. All right, I'm going on frickin' break, boys. All right, so I'm back from that doctor's appointment. Got some stuff to do, if you know what I'm talking about. But meanwhile, while I was at the doctor, wouldn't you believe if I didn't receive a fuel pump? So let's just go and pop that bad boy on really quickly, and then we can make this trek to Milwaukee with a double fuel pump situation. And we're gonna be obsoleting, oh no, oh shoot. All right, that piece is gonna have to come off, but we're gonna leak more coolant, damn it. All right, so we're getting the old one off. Okay, these must have a relief valve in them, right? You have a return, an input and a return and an output. You have low pressure at the input, high pressure at the output, and then this is a relief valve, and the excess pressure goes controlled pressure for the output, and then the excess flow is going to go over to low pressure on the return. What must have happened is that I basically blasted the relief by throttling down the output so much, I must have caused the relief to fail, basically. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and disconnect the hose that we just connected an hour ago to go to the penis appointment. The doctor says we're all good. We are good to go. That's on there a little tight. Okay. All right. Got that original fuel pump put back together. Here's what we're gonna do. Because the piece that I truly need to solve this problem from first concept is not gonna be here until Friday, what I'm gonna do, because, you know, I've got things blocked up here in the garage. I'm gonna keep this other one installed and just as a backup, okay? And because my problem, part of me wants to take that Citroen DS and just drive it and use it, okay? Because I like, you know, I think it would work awesome and I think it would be exciting, but honestly, there is a part of me that says, Joe, don't go driving that Citroen on a 5-hour trip or 2 hours each way round trip. Where did I put those cable ties? I don't know. There's part of me that just says that's a bad idea because I don't like getting towed. It's expensive and I don't even want a tow truck to be touching that beautiful piece of equipment. Yeah, so I think we're gonna drive this cruiser. And my God, doesn't it run well when it has adequate fuel pressure? You know what? I don't like this orifice. It needs it, but I don't like it. I'm gonna run it, so I'm running it wide open, okay? Wide open.